That's right, Dan Myers, Nick Buckler, the wrap-up, the holidays, the wreath, In Sync, Mariah Carey, family, friends, seniors, youth, adolescents, homeless, homely, all of us here in Shelby. Merry Christmas. This is a Christmas community. And happy holidays as well. We don't want you to have a bad new year, folks. Welcome inside another edition of the wrap-up. Man, that song just gets me every time, Dan.
Every time.
Every time.
Tis the season.
Tis for show. Tis. What, tant? I don't know if that's a word. The opposite of tis.
When I couldn't say Santa when I was little, that's what I would say. So.
Tant?
Tant.
Tant, Cole.
Exactly.
Was Santa around back then is the real question. Hey-oh!
I was an intern for him, too. So.
Oh, okay. Well.
Not that old.
Yeah, he's really not. Ladies, 30? That's the new 18. That's right. Well, anyways, we're gonna get right into it here on the wrap up. Enough messing around. It is the holidays, but it's not the holidon'ts. That was a really bad joke. And with that being said, you know what else is bad? Michigan State fans' attitudes. Okay, so Sunday night, I had Dan. You look like you're just.
I'm gonna let you take care of this one.
So last evening, Sunday to be exact, listening to a certain radio station in the area, and the topic was there was a question that was asked by the on-air talent who I'm sure I'll cave and give you his name later because it just really rubbed me the wrong way. The question was to the listeners, why do you feel Michigan State isn't getting respect? Or what is the most offensive thing that has happened that is causing the lack of respect for Michigan State? With the recent Sports Illustrated cover, I'm sure you've heard of it, they called Mike D'Antonio on the cover of Sports Illustrated. That was one of them. Is that the number one reason? The next was the lack of respect and credit from Michigan fans. Oh, okay. And the third was being a 9.5 underdog to Alabama. Okay? Most people were saying the whole Sports Illustrated thing. Mind you, I was in the car for 45 minutes. And this was the only topic. Mind you, the Red Wings had just won in regulation against Calgary and looked darn good doing so.
Absolutely.
The Pistons didn't play, but let's talk about something that matters, folks. Okay? Brian Chapman. So there, I said it. Now, I'm calling you out, Mr. B-Dog. Chapman Sports or whatever you go by. Listen, there's a reason why. You know what? No, okay. I'm going to retract that statement before I get in trouble. Okay? I was a part of the ticket text. I texted in. I was pretty upset that was actually the topic of conversation. Not the look ahead to the Bulls, like, hey, Michigan State's in the Final Four playing Alabama. Okay, that would be fine. But the fact that, okay, this is where people are going to get mad at me, but I'm saying it. Only a little brother would act like that. They're always looking, oh, give us something. Why? Okay, Michigan fans never give us respect. They never give us anything. Why? We have proved to be the best team in this state for the last 10 years. That's true, you have. But you're never satisfied. What I don't understand, Dan, is why they always have to have something else. Okay? Most recently, we're in the Final Four. Where's our credit? How about Michigan fans are playing in the Citrus Bowl New Year's Day against the Florida Gators? Can't they focus on their bowl? No, they have, you know what? Screw our game. Michigan State's playing Final Four. Good for State, okay? What more do you want? You want me to go to East Lansing right now and shake each and every player and each and every... The students aren't the problem, okay? The students don't care what Michigan fans think. The students know that their team is the best in the state. And they don't care. Big deal, Michigan fans. You guys have been in the dumps for the last year. They're not like, oh, it's all these sappy alums and sappy Meyer Michigan Stadians. They say Walmart Wolverine. I'm going to call it.
There you go.
Superstore Spartans. Yeah, there you go. I just came up with the term, Sparty. What, little bro?
They don't like that either.
You all right, little bro? You all right? Go in timeout. What? Okay, I'm going to continue. And this guy who claims to be neutral, Chapman that is, oh, I'm a Penn State fan. Oh, are you? Okay. Well, why? Can't talk. Cool me down, Dan. Gotta calm down here, but it's the holidays, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and tell him how much he's useless. It's awful. Why is that a topic? Why can Sparty never be? Okay, I'll tell you why you're 9.5-point dogs. Because Alabama's the best team in the country, and they travel way better than Sparty. Don't get me wrong. Could Sparty win? Absolutely. But the chances, Alabama's defense is disgusting. They have the Heisman Trophy winner in their backfield. And let's be honest, Alabama in the last 10 years has been the best team in the country. Do I think Sparty can realistically go in and win? Absolutely. And do I think their fans should think that? Absolutely. But do I think that they need every Michigan fan's hand and assistance and guidance? Maybe. Maybe they do. Maybe they need guidance from a team that's been there and done it before. They're scared. They don't know what it's like. They don't know how to handle success. Why can't you guys be happy for us? Because we're not fans of your school. Hey, Chicago Blackhawks, I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan. Great job on the Stanley Cup. We're rooting for you against our own team. We're pulling for you. No, that's not how it works, people. Do you see the Yankees and Mets? Because I understand Chicago and Detroit, different states. So I'm going to go to the Yankees and the Mets. Mets are in the World Series. You know what? We're Yankee fans. Come on, Big Apple Met, man. Let's win this one. No, they hate each other. If I'm going to say if here because Michigan State fans also think that Michigan State is Michigan's number one rival. Okay, that's a sack of baloney. If this is the number one rivalry in Michigan, then why should we be rooting for you? Get it through your closed-minded head. I don't know what's between your ears, but it's not a sports IQ. All right?
Yeah.
Dan, I'm going to let you say a couple words because I noticed that this show is probably 5-6 minutes in and you haven't even opened your mouth
I'm
yet.
letting you go, man. I'm letting you go.
So I'm going to cool down and think of some more insults I can say about Sparty while you
And I'll try to feed you.
Will you touch on some topics?
Well, I really didn't hear that interview, but it's not strange to me that something like that happened. All right, I don't know, what he was trying to get with this bit for his show, this segment.
Maybe fired.
But
Because
it was up to you, yeah, right?
Oh, see ya. There's a reason why you're on at 2 in the morning on a Sunday. Continue.
But it's a rivalry. That's why you play as hard as you do when you face each other that one time in the year in October, and that's what a rivalry is
Hatred.
The hatred that you have for that other team, especially Michigan State rivalry. You're never going to be happy. I know we're in the PC age, but how friendly do we have to be to each other, to our rivals?
Because this is 2015. This is the day of politically correct.
We're not going to be shaking it. We're not going to be breaking bread with them.
Great game out there, guys. Good work. You want to come into our country and make families and stuff, Sparty? You want to come to Ann Arbor?
Yeah.
You want to? No. Okay, folks? This is sports. Sports are not politically correct. If you think sports need to be politically correct, then sports are not for you. All right? Plain and simple. Sports is nitty, it's gritty, it's physical, and feelings, emotional, physical pain will be inflicted. And if you can't hang, the kitchen's not the place for you. All right? Get on out the house, as my friends with bad grammar would say, and flip on QVC, because ESPN isn't for you. Continue.
No, I don't know how you top that. I don't know if all that, but you're absolutely right. This is the one channel, this is the one outlook that you get to, just throw all the normal stuff away. And, that's why it's a rivalry. No one from Michigan, I wouldn't expect this from Michigan State if the roles were reversed. It's a rivalry. They're not going to get along. That's why that game that you have in October when you face each other is such a pivotal game. And I feel like it's just losing its glow.
But it's the number one rivalry for Michigan.
And,
no, it's not. Ohio State is. Continue, Dan.
It's
Sorry.
always going to be. I don't care what they say. But, congratulations to Michigan State. You guys have really turned it around. But
No.
if
I'm
you're
done.
looking for...
I'm done with respect for that team.
If you're
Their
looking...
fans ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Sorry. The fans ruined it for me. I hate them.
Well,
I hate them.
yeah. But, it's...
Top 3
you turned
hated
it
schools
around.
now, Dan. I'm interrupting a lot today. I apologize. I'll buy you a ginger ale after the show for the holiday season. But top 3 hated schools for me.
Go.
In order. Ohio State, obviously, number 1. I despise everything that they stand for.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was not this school until last night, Michigan State. And a quick third is Notre Dame. I hate them all.
Oh.
Hate them all. Hate them. I was going to say Duke, but I know I didn't want to get the preparation H out because you'd be a little butthurt on that one.
Oh. Going on. Yeah, it's...
What are your 3 hated? I mean, let's...
I got to
let's
go
stir
with
the
that.
pot.
Absolutely.
I
OSU
think,
first.
can I predict yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
OSU, MSU, and North Carolina?
No, actually, it's close. But believe it
Figured
or not,
with it
as a
being-
Duke fan, I don't... It goes OSU, it goes Maryland, because I can't stay in Maryland.
But they just got Michigan's defensive coordinator as their head coach.
Well, that's cool. They can have our hand-me-downs. And then they can take North Carolina. So
No Michigan State in there, huh?
they're probably 4th or 5th.
Oh,
I
okay.
could probably think of a couple
And
others.
don't get me wrong, they're a great program. Their fans ruined it for me. Their fans ruined it.
Now, is he an alumni?
Who?
The certain
No, he went to Penn State. I'm neutral. No, you're not. You sound like a jackass.
Yeah, you're feeding to the crowd. You're feeding to the
It's
hype. It's okay.
absolutely pathetic.
But
And another thing. Oh, well, we're not getting respect. That's funny. The Spirit of Detroit's wearing your jersey. Oh, yeah, no respect here. The state, the city, they do not like us. Oh, okay.
And what's
hey,
with-
Spirit, lose the jersey. Put on a Pistons jersey. Yeah, there's the respect. Enough of this BS. We're going to talk Red Wings hockey now. How's that?
well, real quick before we get into that,
Oh.
no, I just wanted to jump on this real quick. Maybe they're
on it.
maybe
Jump
they're
on it.
upset about the SI Jinx. What do you think about that? The cover. You think that's
It's
going
not
to
a
come into
jinx.
play?
No, they're going to lose either way.
Yeah.
They're going to get smacked.
And
Henry's going to run for 185 yards and 8 touchdowns.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. I was thinking about that, but
State can't hang.
I don't know if you heard about the new cover of the Sports Illustrated
Connor
with
Cook?
not with Connor Cook, but with the Broncos QB Brock Osweiler.
He had
Yes.
himself a game as well on Sunday. Let me just throw that out there.
He did. He did.
Peyton Manning can't even throw a spiral, but he couldn't in his prime. Don't get me wrong, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Peyton, time to retire.
Yeah, it's getting
It's
sad.
Brock attack time. 25-year-old Osweiler, man. He's the real deal. Holyfield. And another thing, I know we're kind of leaving the Michigan mind of this, Detroit. Cam Newton is the real deal.
Yeah.
I wasn't sold on him. This guy's thrown 5 touchdowns each of the last 3 weeks. This guy is stupid in a good way. This guy is, if anyone even comes close to getting the MVP other than him, it's going to be just absolute mayhem in Raleigh,
Yeah.
North Carolina, because that guy is the reason why they're 14-0. They have a great defense, but man, Cam Newton's just a freak athlete. They came down when they had to Sunday against the Giants and just overcame Odell Beckham just being a poor sport, punching guys in the face. If that's any other team in the league, that guy's kicked out and suspended. Now they're looking at it to see if he may get suspended. He should have been out of the game then. You can't punch a dude 3 times right in the jaw under the mask. It's pathetic. But Dan, continue, sorry.
What I was just going with that though was MSU fans aren't the only ones that are upset. Apparently, there's a picture on the cover of Dominic Easley being a victim of uncalled holding, and it's clear over, I believe it's his right shoulder. So SI is sort of turning things up again with the whole hype of. So when you get your new SI, check it out. I just want to mention that real quick.
I
It's
haven't
pretty.
had an SI since the swimsuit edition circa 2008.
Oh yeah, were you SI for Kids fan?
I was.
Yeah.
It's nice when they had the swimsuit editions for,
Not for
for the kids.
kids.
It was great.
No, SI for Kids, but we won't go into that. It's just.
No, the Alex Morgan edition with the body paint. Check that one out. Red Wings hockey. They had a few games this week. Monday, they ended their point streak at 14 games, I believe 13 games. The 14th game they lost to the Buffalo Sabres. That one stings at home, 2-1. in a game that they really just blew.
Yeah.
They were up 1-0 the whole game. Don't get me wrong. Against Buffalo and Chad Johnson, you need to score more than one goal. But hey, all good things must come to an end, because right back Friday, they fought back to get a point that really they didn't deserve. 4-3 shootout loss to the Vancouver Canucks. Jimmy Howard played really well in that game, making the shootout go into 7 rounds. Brad Richards with the only shootout goal for the Red Wings. And Zetterberg, I don't know if you saw the shootout Friday night.
Yes. Oh, my
Zetterberg
gosh.
with a great move. Ryan Miller slides out of the net, and Zetterberg, victim of having his head down, slams it right into Miller, and he had the entire net. So that one hurt. And then Darren Helm, what was that?
Well-
What the helm was that? He just went deked and just kept deking further into the corner and didn't even get a shot off until he passed the goal line. So that one hurt as well. Larkin put a good move and then face planted into the boards. But hey, Jimmy Howard played well in that shootout, well enough for the team to get 2 points. But let's be honest, Vancouver dominated that game. And the Wings turned it up in the third period, got a couple goals to force the shootout, overtime and the shootout. And they pressured a lot in 3-on-3 overtime. And good for them to just get a point. And then obviously Sunday with a 4-2 win against Calgary. And Dylan Larkin gets the first star in that game. And good to see he just keeps rolling. 12 goals, now leads all NHL rookies. And first in plus-minus in the entire NHL with a +18. The next closest guy on the team is a +3.
Yeah.
So what does that say about, he just finds an act to just going to the net. And this kid's a real deal.
Yeah, just a tremendous find and pickup for the Wings. It's just nothing short of surprising for him. You know, every game it's just what's he going to do next? He's dare I say the next Magic Man. We'll see. I don't want to jinx anything too soon, but he is just ridiculous. Might not have the puck control he does, but he's got the speed and he's got the finesse. But yeah, especially the Sunday game when both teams were tied. I think it was -13th and for first place, but they had -13 of giving up a goal or two in the last 2 minutes of a game. So, you know, when Calgary came and scored that shorthanded, or weren't they both shorthanded for matching minors for the fighting, I believe?
Was that the Calgary game?
Calgary game, yes. And
And that made it 3-2.
3-2, yeah.
2:46 left in the third.
Still plenty of time to go. And, you know, the way the Wings have been playing with that, you know, they're giving up leads like there's no tomorrow. But they actually took care of it, so that was good to see. But
good to see the empty netter, too, just to solidify that from Justin Abdelkader there.
Absolutely.
And good to see Nyquist get on now tied for the team leading goals with 12 with Larkin. Good to see him. And the Richards goal was just absolute.
Yeah.
Comes right off the bench. Puck gets chipped out by a defenseman. He just, with a clap bomb, top corner, where grandma
Sick.
keeps the peanut butter, as they would say. And good to see Richards start to score now in a couple games in a row.
Right.
And really starting to find his stride that he had in the postseason with Chicago last year. And that's why I think he was a great free agent signing for a cheap price. And it's just good veteran leadership and a great guy to have on and off the ice for the Wings.
Yep, absolutely. And, you know, one thing I was going to say also is especially with this whole trend that they got going on right now with playing to their opponents, when do we get out of that? When is that going to be over with? I mean, we have to do that or just kick that to the side because this is getting too much. You know, they got to fix this. And how do you fix that? Just keep going or what?
To touch on that, I've noticed for all Detroit teams, especially the Wings and Tigers, they have games when there's unproven guys making their Major League debuts or NHL debuts. And these guys have career games against Detroit teams all the time. And both Detroit teams are top tier. It's not like they're garbage. Like Tokarski, I think it was his first game this year for Montreal. I know he backed up Carey Price last year in net. But it was his first game, and he stood on his head.
Yeah.
And just guys getting their first career goals and first goal in 108 games. And just they always find a way to do great things against the Wings. And that, I feel like, is a way that another thing like the Wings struggling with Carolina, struggling with Edmonton.
Playing to their opponents. That's
But
another
playing
problem.
against Montreal. And that's why the last couple of years in the playoffs, they're like, oh, the Wings aren't going to do anything against Tampa. And the year before, when they played against Chicago, oh, they're not going to do anything. And look, they beat Anaheim that year in 7 games, came back from a 3-2 deficit in the series, and then had Chicago 3-2. And obviously, we know what happened in that. And then Tampa last year, they had the series in the bag. And just, they can play against the elite teams. But if you put them in a playoff series against, like, Columbus, they might struggle because
Yeah.
they just play the other team. They don't, to me, the Red Wings don't have their style of play. They feed off what the other team's doing, and that's how they determine what they're going to do. They just need to go in there, play their game like they did in the early 2000s under Scotty Bowman, and just flat out be better than the other team.
Yep.
And that's what they don't do. They're too much, dilly-daddling around. Guys like our leaders, like Datsuk and Zetterberg, not shooting enough.
Right.
Too busy trying to make these cute plays and highlight reel plays. And I don't think they're looking for the highlights.
No.
Because they're not like that at all. Neither guy is a selfish player, obviously. Look at their assist numbers. But I just think that they just need to be simple X and O kind of hockey and just be flat out better than the other team.
Granted, it's never been their style, but yeah, you're right. No, they do have to start putting pucks back on the net and stop playing to their opponents. You're right. They have to establish their style of play. I mean, maybe that's what made us so successful with our Stanley Cup runs, but we also have to, it's not always going to work, and it's evidence, that even this year in these past playoff appearances. But what can you do but fix it and just, get it going. But you mentioned Tampa Bay, too. Speaking of which, what do you think about Stamkos coming to the Wings? What would you want to give away for that?
I don't think it would be enough, especially for a rental player, because he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. A realistic deal, I would say you have to throw Jimmy Howard in there or Mrazek. I feel like they would rather have Mrazek due to the contract of Jimmy Howard. Both guys are on the top of their game right now. Jimmy Howard, I'd throw in a guy like Brendan Smith, maybe a Timu Pulkkinen because he has upside, he can score. And then they'd probably ask for a guy like Athanasiou or an Anthony Mantha as well, or maybe even a Xavier Ouellet. Yeah. But I wouldn't do it because Stamkos is going to be a guy who's going to get $12 million a season when he becomes a free agent at the end of this year. And definitely I think someone's going to pay too much for him at the trade deadline, i.e. maybe Toronto. Go back to where he's from, play for Mike Babcock. And I just feel that might be him, and then they just hope that he likes it in his hometown enough to re-sign there. But Toronto doesn't have a minor league system, and I don't know what Tampa would see from Toronto that they would want. Yeah. I think Stamkos stays in Tampa and signs an extension there as well. I think he wants to win a cup there. Do I think he's getting along with John Cooper and Steve Yzerman? No. But do I think there's room to fix it? Yeah. Because he is an elite talent in the league. Only 13 goals this year, but if that was on the Wings, it would lead the team. But Tampa's just in a tailspin right now. They did get a big win on Sunday, but they're struggling right now. They're 5th in the division. They might be 6th. But I just want to touch on the standings real quick. Yeah. Detroit is 2 points behind Montreal and have 1 game in hand. So if Detroit wins that game in hand Tuesday against the New Jersey Devils at the Joe, they would be 43 points, tied with Montreal for first. But Boston has been red hot. Detroit is 1 point behind Boston, but Boston has 1 game in hand on Detroit. So say Boston wins their game in hand, Detroit will be 3 points behind with even games. So don't get me wrong, looking at the standings in December as opposed to March, April, it's just fun to look at. Yeah. I just say, we need these teams to lose. Every point counts. It's fun to watch with Ottawa in the mix, Florida with Jágr just becoming the 4th all-time leading scorer. Florida's playing good. Look at Washington, New York. Yeah. There's a lot of teams right now. Pittsburgh in a tailspin. It's real exciting, and that's why I love the game of hockey. Yeah,
it's incredible. Yeah, and especially when teams like Florida are getting hot. I mean, when was the last time you actually relevant to the league? But they've been
right on the bubble for the last 2-3 years now. Mm-hmm. Now with the leadership of Jaromir Jágr, they have Roberto Luongo between the pipes. Aaron Ekblad, the excellent young defenseman. Jonathan Huberdeau. There's talent there. There is talent there, and it's just a matter of no one roots for him.
Yeah. Especially when you have Tampa right up the street. So.
And neither team can get a good draw. Yeah. There's so many other things to do down in Florida than watch hockey, and it's a shame because both teams are very talented and skilled, and I feel like if they move to somewhere like Quebec City or somewhere like that, Canada deserves more teams. Yeah, Do I think Vegas is a good spot? Absolutely not. Seattle's bidding for a team as well? No. Quebec City deserves it, and I don't think they're going to let it go if they get another team.
Well,
I'd like to see a team in like Hamilton or London. We could just shoot up
Yeah.
Shoot, or Windsor, huh?
Yeah,
See the Windsor-Detroit rivalry?
That would be huge, yeah. That'd
but
be great.
I don't know if they would draw well because a lot of Wings fans and Toronto fans in Windsor. But hockey, best game on ice. Number one basketball team in the country are the Michigan State Spartans. I can respect their basketball team because those fans don't cry as much as the football. But mind you, it's not March Madness yet. But I think MSU basketball has been elite for so long. They're just used to winning now.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas the football team, they don't know what it's like to be on top. I'm not going to get back into that. But
Just
their
when he
star
cooled down.
player, Denzel Valentine, he has been an absolute freak athlete this year. Well, he's shut down 2 to 4 weeks, breaking on Monday. This was breaking news. Due to some knee surgery, he had to have it done so he can have longevity now going into down the stretch conference tournament and then the NCAA tournament. So wishing him a quick recovery because he is just a great athlete and an asset to that team.
Huge asset for that team, absolutely. Yeah, and it'll be pivotal during that when that tournament shows up.
Oh, absolutely. And I know there's one last thing you wanted to touch on in this edition of the Wrap Up 36 Holiday Edition. The wreath. Thank you. Kelly Stafford,
Yeah.
the beautiful wife of quarterback Matthew Stafford. I would like to call her Kelly Hall because that's her single name. Kelly, what up? But she took to Instagram to put some Monday Night Football tickets. Lions are in New Orleans to play Monday Night Football. She put those tickets up on StubHub to sell. And people on Instagram didn't take well to that, and she fired right back.
Oh, yeah.
Dan, you know more about this
She
than
was
I.
pretty
Here you go.
ruthless. The big problem with it was, she was. What I took from it is she just, I gotta get these tickets out of here. $600, all yours, whatever. And there was a lot of complaining about the money and stuff like that. And I think that's really what set people off. Aside from that, they know they can get to her. She reads them, and it just, if you're gonna be on social media, if you're gonna be someone in the spotlight, especially locally, you have to be ready for the repercussions.
You got to have thick skin.
If you don't want that, you log off and you don't say a word. And unfortunately, she doesn't seem like she figured that out yet. But there's been so many times this year that I swear she's probably gotten Matt Stafford into some trouble with what she said. But yeah, I wanted to see how you felt about that and see if you and I shared the same opinion as far as. I think it's entertaining personally.
Oh, absolutely. But I feel also if she wants to sell the tickets just because her husband makes, stupid money doesn't mean the tickets are now free. It's not a charity.
Yeah.
I mean, the tickets still cost something. So if she wants to sell the tickets, let her sell the tickets.
Right.
But do I think she should have thicker skin and not post things on Instagram? Post them on StubHub. Don't put them on Instagram because Instagram is where you've gotten yourself into trouble this entire season. You've gotten Matthew Stafford into trouble this entire season. I think you got to take that to strictly StubHub. People are going to buy them. Do I think she'll sell them anyways if she already hasn't? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But thicker skin. Disable your notifications. Disable comments. So you can't see them. Except for me. I'll be sliding in your DMs momentarily. What up? But just have thicker skin. You're in the spotlight. Your husband's an elite quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
He makes a ton of money.
This is the
Moving
time of year, donate them. And
It's the holidays.
Send them something. The holiday wreath.
Silver bells, Dan, I got to finish my Christmas shopping.
I have to
I don't
start.
know about it. Well,
We got to go shopping right now.
me too. So we're going to have to head on out of here. Lakeside, Partridge, Somerset. Nah, I don't think we got the funds for that, but maybe Kelly wants to give us some Lion tickets for free because this is a charity, apparently. Dan Myers, Nick Buckler.
Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.